Hello, eRank. Another Thursday, another eRank live, and me and Starla's back. Hey, Starla. It's been a while
It
again.
has, but I won't be here next week. So I have to go on, sadly, I have to go on vacation next week. So
Oh, you poor
unfortunately,
thing. Yeah,
I
I know
know.
you'd much rather be here than having fun with your family, but
Oh, absolutely. We already know what most of you guys want to talk about, and we promise we're going to talk about it a whole lot. But do we have anything else other than this announcement to discuss today? Have I missed anything?
yeah, guys, let us know. I don't think, well, what's been going on in the past week? I don't think Etsy's done anything that wasn't this. In eRank, if you've missed it in this YouTube channel, there's the words. In this YouTube channel, we've been doing a few videos explaining the sidekick tool. I'm forgetting what we've done. So you want to check them out. There's one from myself, there's one from Jessica, and I think there's one from Patrick just coming, or it's the other way around. I can't remember. Because yep, Jessica's Sidekick's got updated. Sidekick is always getting updated. And also we had our second ever webinar featuring the listing audit tool. So things to check out. But I don't think Etsy broke anything else this week.
Well, yeah, it was technically last week, but the mature content policy update, that was the other new thing where um, items for adults that can be inserted into the body can no longer be sold on Etsy along with other mature content. So if you're in the 18 plus category, be sure to go and maybe check out the updates to those policies. I know that there were a lot of sellers in my community that will no longer be able to sell on Etsy anymore. So, and if you go into our 18 plus category over at eRank in the monthly trend report and you filter by adult, most of those keywords that are in there are now items that can no longer be sold on Etsy as of July 26th, 25th, 26th.
Yeah. Yeah, that is tough. That's a whole week ago. My memory has just wiped all of that, but yes, that was a fun one because my video from that YouTube didn't like, and I was careful not to say anything rude.
Oh,
But
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
same.
to
That was
say the
hard.
things that aren't allowed. So, guys, if you do sell mature content, it is worth checking. And of course, the old listing editing form totally went when I was away on holiday.
Yeah,
We're all stuck with a new one.
we are, but I did notice that the new one now you can add alt text. So that was my big ask and why I hated the new one to begin with.
Yeah. And they appear to be rolling out image editing for your thumbnail. Some people were talking about being able to brighten pictures and things, which is a cool addition. I don't think it's very good yet, but we'll see. I've not seen it yet.
All right. So for those asking questions in the chat, we will try to get to you after we get through the actual bulk of the main updates because we assume that that's probably what you guys want to hear about is Etsy's big announcements that they made on Tuesday. I will go ahead and put a link in the chat to the main page that Josh Silverman made this announcement. But the important thing to remember is that there are a lot of little highlighted sections within this announcement that you also need to expand and click on and open up. But Pam and I are hopefully going to be able to cover most of what you at least need to know. Just make sure that you read over everything. And Pam also has a video on her channel. Tomorrow I'll be going live during the Friday Bean to cover all of this. So if you turn on our videos while you're hanging out, doing your work, because I'm sure that Pam, you probably said things during yours that are interesting, just in the moment, and we'll probably say a lot today and I'll probably say a lot tomorrow. So if you're afraid that you're going to miss something, just bounce between all the information, read the articles, make sure that you're, following these it's not really new policies. That's the kicker, is that it's not new policies, but Josh also said that nothing had changed, and that's not true either. Several things have changed. I don't know why he made such a big stink about saying nothing has changed, because that's not entirely true. But Pam, where do we start?
Yeah, great question. We start by finding the right buttons to press, but I think that's the link you posted. We've got
Yes.
George's video here, and you can watch the video. We're not going to watch the video with you just now because there's probably whole loads of copyright issues with doing that. And we like talking. But the best place to start is you will be noticing Etsy has added this to your listings. They've introduced the new creativity standards, which means in the past, Etsy said items had to be handmade, vintage, or supplies. Now they're supposedly just spelling it out differently. So they're saying it's either made by the seller, designed by the seller, sourced by the seller, or handpicked by the seller, which the items should still be pretty similar. They should generally still be handmade, vintage, or supplies, but they're just describing them differently. Actually, you can check. This isn't something that we get to decide what our listings fall under. Etsy is putting it in our own listings. I'm trying to find. So here is one of my listings, and unfortunately, Etsy's got it a little bit wrong, but they're automatically putting up the thing to say what they believe your listing is. And most of mine are right, but this one's saying designed by Ben McFuzzy Lugs, designed by whatever your shop name is, and that is in the wrong category. There is nothing, we can't change it just now. All you can do is when you're editing your listing under, where did this come from? Under this bit, the details, physical item, and it now says core details. If you go in to change this, you have the option to add in it's made from scratch or it's assembled from purchased parts, all of these kind of details. And then it won't change anything just now, Etsy told us, but they're looking into this and it'll be training their system in the future, hopefully.
All right. So easy enough. And guys, here's the thing. It's new to us. It's new to the buyers. Etsy's making a big stink about it, but the thing is, it's just one more little tiny indicator right on your listings. When I took Etsy's survey, because there is a survey, I'll link it here in just a moment, that you can take to give Etsy feedback on these changes if you have opinions about them. I highly recommend, filling it out. But they're asking things like, how much do you think this is going to help buyers? Like, how much do you think this is going to change the perception of buyers? Because Etsy knows that buyers aren't really happy right now. I've been getting a lot more comments on my YouTube channel from people who aren't sellers. They're just buyers trying to see like what's up, with Etsy. And they're saying like, I quit shopping on Etsy because it's too confusing. I never know what's actually handmade. I can't find handmade. I don't think that this little itty bitty indicator is going to be the thing that changes Etsy. I think that Etsy's moving in a great direction. I do like it. I just think that it's not going to be some big crazy thing. And if you have an item that's slightly miscategorized, don't assume that it's the end of the world or a customer is going to freak out and not buy your product, because I highly doubt customers are even going to be looking at this until Etsy has done more to condition them to do so.
Exactly. It's just the first step. Just Anna, I just wanted to pick this one out because this is something that we just literally noticed. Designed for your handmade items are popping out like that for personalized items. That is just what I said to Starla 2 minutes ago, which they're incorrectly doing it because a lot of us have called our stuff personalized because Etsy pushes that keyword. But they're assuming personalized were designed by, so they've put things in the incorrect category. But it's not going to make a difference just now. I think Josh did say in the last quarterly report and in his webinars that buyers want to know how handmade something is. So they're working, this is one step towards it. They're also going to be working on lots of other things. I see there's going to be the filters for whether things are physical or digital and stuff. That's all going to be worked on a little bit, I think, as well. So now is a really good time when it's quiet to make sure your listings are correct. Not correct with things that you can't fix, like this Etsy thing, but is it, if it's digital, is it categorized? Have you said it's digital correctly? If it's physical, have you said the right things? Just make sure your house is in order before all the changes that are probably coming.
Yeah, and none of these changes are detrimental. Now, the two things that you should take note of, the only two actual changes that have been made are, first of all, Etsy has kind of pulled a fast one on us with, Josh saying, oh, nothing's changed, when in reality, they've made big changes to gift baskets, which previously, you guys know, Pam and I have talked about it here on the eRank channel and on our own channels. Previously, if you were doing a gift basket, everything within that gift basket had to be handmade. You couldn't just go buy a bunch of things and stick them in a gift basket and sell them. Well, now you can. Pam, do you have the exact wording for those?
Yep, I just pulled that up. Let's, if I hit the right buttons. You'd think I'd never been on here. So Etsy's now saying this is in the hand-picked by seller category, and they have an exact place for gift baskets. An assortment of different types of items that a seller has personally selected and creatively packaged to create a new, unique set. Gift baskets must have a clear theme that ties together a variety of different types of items that were individually selected by the seller. Generic concepts such as candy, clothes, or mystery box, we've never been allowed mystery boxes, do not qualify as a gift basket themes. Sellers must list every item contained in a curated gift basket or box in the listing description, e.g., new dog parent themed gift box containing an assortment of dog treats, dog bags, leash, dog themed coffee mugs. So that's all the details that we've got there, and that is a change. Etsy definitely. Did I have this somewhere?
I've got the one that I sent you in Slack. The old policy stated, do include only qualifying handmade, vintage, or crafting supply items. Don't include any mass-produced item in a gift basket unless it is part of a new structure. So that would be like an example of, using supplies to create something new.
Yeah. 2022, I can see house rules was you may not group new items you didn't make into a basket or set, even when based on a theme, idea, or life event. So it definitely has changed, but it's Etsy site. They're within their rights to do that. It definitely, people are freaking out and saying, does this open the door to drop shipping? And it shouldn't be. These should be things that at least you've curated. You've picked out lots of different things to put them together.
And you're still shipping.
Yep, exactly. You're shipping. I believe as well the listing image policy has been updated. That's the legal policy on Etsy, and it does sound like you have to take a picture of that type of gift box. You have to show what your item's going to be, and it has to be your picture pretty much. So you can't drop ship it from somewhere the other side of the world or something. So.
Yeah. A couple people are mentioning their items being miscategorized. We talked about that towards the beginning, so just maybe watch the replay because Pam did cover how to go in and make those changes. I also, if you guys look up in the chat, the last comment by eRank, I have included the link where you can actually give Etsy feedback about these changes. So if there's anything that you feel especially strongly about, or a change that you don't like, make sure that you check that out. But also make sure that you also rate positively the things that you do like. I do think that these little indicators are great. I don't think that they're going to completely revolutionize the platform, but I think that it's a good first step. But the other big change is for our POD people. This is an important one for you guys. Previously, Etsy's policies had stated that your mock-ups must either be from your print provider or you have to take your own photos. Etsy's finally provided some clarification, which is hilarious because I've been going back and forth with our head of customer support forever, and he has not given me a definitive answer. So I'm glad that they finally, that's probably why he probably hasn't been able to give me an answer, because he knew that they were making changes. But basically, you can use mock-ups. The only The only difference is that if you are creating a POD item where someone's name is going to be printed on it, maybe you make Christmas ornaments and you've got, someone's last name, the Moore family, on your Christmas ornaments, those you cannot use mock-ups for. You have to order a sample of at least one of those and use an actual photograph that you have taken yourself. You may use mock-ups for the secondary photos, but the thumbnail itself, if you are personalizing that POD item as the policy stand, you have to take those photos yourself.
Yep, and I've had a whole lot of questions about the photography bit, which totally understandable, because there's so much variety of stuff on Etsy that not everything fits neatly into what they're explaining to us. But it does sound specifically like they're talking that your first image should be showing what the buyer is going to get. It even mentions, the type of it, an example of it, and the quantity of it. So it doesn't say specifically, but I would be careful if you're selling one mug and you've got a picture of 4 mugs or something. It doesn't say not to do it, but read over the policy and see what you think of that. But there's been some questions that I certainly can't answer. People asking, because it's saying with digital items, let's have a look at the actual policy bit there. It's saying when creating your listings, you must use your own photos, either photos you took yourself or had someone else take for you. You can use photos from your customer feedback if you ask them permission. These photos showcase the actual finished product that you've made, designed, handpicked, or sourced. And they have mentioned in some of the other places, if you're digital, then you want to be showing an image of the digital file rather than a mock-up. But people have asked me, and I honestly can't answer. So, Starla, let's see if you've got any ideas here, because this has been a burning question. If someone is creating patterns, what does their first image have to be of? Because the thing that the person gets is a pattern that they create a physical item out of.
Yeah, I think, it's going to vary because digital varies from planners to worksheets for kids to patterns to, you know, SVGs to wall art that you print and hang up yourself. And I feel like throwing a blanket over digital and looping it all together isn't the best way to go about this. And hopefully with enough digital sellers leaving feedback, again, make sure that you guys take that survey. I'll post it in the chat again. Hopefully Etsy begins to acknowledge some of these gaps. Here's the survey link if you guys missed it. Hopefully they can begin acknowledging some of these gaps. I dare say that for digital sellers, you're going to have to just do what you can do based on the information that we have and hope that Etsy will give us more answers as they start acknowledging issues. So I wouldn't make any major changes to your shops. If you're selling a pattern, and you make it clear that it's a pattern and you've got something maybe even on your thumbnail that says, pattern, but you've got the picture of the plushie. For now, I dare say leave things like that until we know for sure, because I would hate to see somebody with 600 patterns in their shop go and change all their thumbnails unnecessarily.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point for everything. Do not change all your listings based on what we think we understand of this, because this is the worst version of it. And Etsy, no matter how good they are, they're not going to have thought of everything. There's bits missing, there's things that aren't quite fleshed out yet. So, but I totally get the number of people contacting and saying, I don't want to contact Etsy because I might be breaking all the rules, but I'm not aware of it. I really hope that Etsy Chat wouldn't shut down someone's shop for them reaching out and saying, can you please clarify this? But yeah, Brian, the clarification needs a little more clarification. That's pretty much where we're at. Yeah.
Well, the unfortunate thing is the people who we would reach for support probably don't even have the ability to clarify past what's written. So we just have to wait and see. That's always my fear, is that that customer support person isn't going to give a good answer, which, Pam, we both know that that happens a lot right now.
It's sadly, the customer support people are probably the last people to find out.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, I was hearing from lots of people that the customer support people didn't know about these changes initially. So I can only imagine what kind of day they had. So don't get mad at them.
Yeah.
You wake up to a ton of questions and it's like, I don't know what changed. Let me go and look at Etsy.
Well, we're like that sometimes with eRank. I didn't know that the
Oh,
sidekick had changed. So
oh no, I totally understand, because for those that don't know, I used to also help out with the customer support for eRank, and I'm not that example wasn't just pulled from my head. At eRank, I have had that. Woke up in the morning, especially because I'm in the UK, so I'd wake up before the rest of you, see 100 emails going, "What's this?" I'd be like, "I don't know," and there's nobody in yet to ask. So that was always fun. So I totally understand with Etsy. It's a much bigger organization. So
yeah, I prefer the answer "I don't know" over a wrong
oh
answer,
yeah,
though.
absolutely. Yes.
So,
Mhm.
Pam, aside from that, is there anything else that we can? I mean, we've got questions from the Wednesday post, but did we cover all our bases?
Um the AI policy is,
Oh,
I don't
yes.
even think I need to pull this pull this up, but Etsy have looked into the issue and have decided they are allowing AI art for just now. They are looking into it. They understand it's a contentious issue, but you can't sell bundles of AI prompts is what they've decided so far. But my thoughts with that is they definitely have put a lot of verbiage into explaining that they understand this is an evolving situation. So probably wouldn't build your entire retirement plan on AI art on Etsy, because we don't know
Right.
where it's going to go.
And if you don't like it, because I know that, there are people on both sides, if you're one of those who doesn't like it, make sure that you fill out that survey that I've posted in the chat. Let Etsy know if you like it, if you don't like it. Etsy is going to base their decisions, and they even say that during the survey, that they base their decisions on, user feedback. So just make sure that anytime Etsy asks us to fill out a survey, always do it.
Yeah, they don't listen to one of us, but if 100,000 of us all say the same thing, they're going to listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start grabbing some of the questions that were submitted Wednesday, and then we'll try to circle back around to your guys' chat questions. But on the Wednesday post in the eRank group, Kitty Nash had asked, lots of sellers seem to think that it's the seller who selects the made by, source by, etc. But I thought it's actually Etsy who allocates the listing a category based on how sellers fill out the new parts of the listing manager that we rolled out, or that was rolled out yesterday. Yeah, Etsy adds them automatically. Pam, do you still have that link up? That way, since several people joined late, maybe we can show it to them one last time.
Yep, if I can find which one it is. Yeah, so you have to, as far as I saw, you're going to have to go into your listings individually, but you can see under the item details, the highlights, Etsy has now added that tag to say designed by, made by, or anything else there. You don't have to do anything. Etsy's chose it. And if it's incorrect, which some of them are because these things make mistakes, like this one is incorrect. If it's incorrect, Etsy can't change it just now, and we can't change it just now. All we can do is give them the feedback and fill in the surveys and everything, fill in the options that they give us as well. If you go into edit your listing, you get all these new things where you're saying, what is it? I made it. You can tell them how well you made it, how much you made it, and what you used to make it with. So that's all we've got just now. But at the same time, I don't think we need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nelly forgot this. Etsy did specifically say if you're adding on to any of those things that I just showed you in your listing editor, Etsy told us this will not affect what customers see. It's not going to hurt your SEO in any way.
Awesome. Yeah.
Because I know people freak out about, like Josh must have heard that, people freaking out going, I can't touch my bestseller.
All right. It looks like actually most of these questions were questions that we've already answered. The only one out of all of these that we haven't answered, Kitty Nash had asked, the new creativity standards state that the photo or the video must be the final product if it's made by the seller. And she highlighted listings for items made by a seller must use original photo or video content of the final product. Does this mean that general videos, for example, the process of making a bag, is now not allowed as you need a video of each specific bag? I'm going to do just a wee bit of assuming here. Etsy, because they've stated things like mock-ups and secondary photos and such are okay, what I assume is that they just don't want you creating mock-ups of bags if you've handmade a product. They don't want you creating an example of what your bag could look like to be used as your main photo. I really don't think that Etsy's going to sit there and vet all of our listing videos as well. That's just a guess.
Yeah, I actually missed that they said videos as well. Because, yeah, plenty of people aren't going to have different videos for every single listing. So, yeah, that's probably one to bug Etsy about as well. But yes, I agree with Starla. Well, we can only go by exactly what Etsy tell us, but reading between the lines, I don't think they fully thought that one through. I think I think it's really right. They want to make sure that that what the buyer is seeing is representative of what they're going to buy, especially when you have basically the buy now button underneath the photo. So many buyers just go, I want that, and don't even read anything. So the picture has to represent what you're getting. And I guess, yes, you get the rollover where the video plays automatically. So again, it can't be misleading. We have to go by the letter of what Etsy say just now, but that's my feeling is they don't mean exactly what they say, just as long as it's not confusing. But everybody bug Etsy.
Just make sure that what you're showing in the video, if it's you making items and you're not making the exact, maybe you make candles and you've just got a video of you pouring candles, but it's not the exact candle. That video is at least showing me that you're making the candles, but you're not showcasing a video of a completely different candle, for example. Because like Pam said, in a search page, if you're rolling your mouse over it, they might see a different candle than what they're going to receive. So again, I wouldn't go change all your listings. I would go over them and make sure that your videos couldn't be misinterpreted. But if you've got more of like a creative video that showcases that you're a handmade seller and you're really wanting to express to people that like, hi, this is my office, this is my workspace, this is my desk, this is my process. I wouldn't rush and change anything until we have a more clear answer.
Yeah, I think those kind of videos are super important, and I would have thought they would be things that Etsy really wants, because Etsy wants to be able to stand up and say it's real people showcase, like making real things. That's their whole advertising campaign is going to be for the next few months. So yeah, we'll see.
I do love the advertising. The seller focused advertising is fantastic. I'm really
It's very
excited.
cute. Yes,
And I wish that
think
they would
that's
have
going to
done
be
that
fun.
for the Super Bowl.
That would have been so much better. Although some people absolutely loved the Super Bowl thing. I say thing advert. That was rather rude. The Super Bowl advert. I'm trying to see where I put the ad campaign. There we go. Yeah, so there is an article for what the new ads are going to be like. Some of the examples of the ads, and it is all featuring people making their item. They're really cool. It's like built by Tiffany, vintage by. Oh, why did I start reading names? I can't do names, but vintage or crafted by, designed by, and I think these are really cute. And this is another one. We're kind of talking to to Starla about, Etsy just sent out an email talking about they're giving a thing for you to be able to share that kind of thing yourself, of yourself, on Instagram. If you can get nice pictures of yourself, it might not be a stupid idea to do it, because
Yeah. What if Etsy features you?
exactly, the chance is very small, but it's zero if you don't do it. They haven't
Exactly.
told us they're going to take your pictures and feature you, but they do. I've certainly, Etsy UK has taken loads of my posts and featured them. So on their own social media, their social media team likes going, oh, here's another Etsy seller, let's feature them. So worth a try.
All right. Well, I think we're good to get to questions from the chat. I am going to grab Deborah's. I will be scrolling back up for those that I've missed, but I think that Deborah's is a good one. She had said, in the title, I keep getting different info. One person says no hyphens in the title, but I see you have them in your suggested titles. I've been told commas instead. I've also been told not to put capitals in the middle of the title, but I also see you have them in your suggested titles. So first of all, not everybody on the internet has good information. Etsy doesn't care what you're using to separate out those terms, and they definitely don't care about capitals. I don't know of any search engines that care about capitals. So
The
don't worry
only,
about.
yep, there's only one that I've seen, and that's Google shopping ads.
Mhm.
They don't like spammy capitalization,
Okay, so
where
like
you
all caps.
all caps or silly caps where they're not supposed to be. But yes, having a little bit isn't a bad thing anywhere, as far as I know.
Yeah, the best practice is to write a title that is friendly to shoppers. And if adding in some commas or some dashes or some slashes or some pipes or whatever it is that you choose to use helps to break that title up in a way that's a little bit more reader friendly, then do that. I've used dashes. I've used forward slashes. Dashes and forward slashes, you have extra space because it's like space, forward slash, space, and then the next word. So if you're one of those people who really wants to like use all your character space, which that's also a myth that you need to do that. There's someone who I don't know who is sharing it, but there's somebody on YouTube who's saying that you must use all 140 characters on the dot. And I'm like, no. Etsy says the opposite of
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, always check Etsy policies, but 99% of the time, if someone says you must do this, they're speaking rubbish. So it checks in my head that me or Starla haven't. The only must you kind of do is like fill in your policies and stuff. That's a must, because it doesn't take you that long and it helps your ranking on Etsy. But everything else, yeah, there's no absolutes, there's no musts. You've just got to make things that people potentially like and try and make better things and hope it works.
All right, let's see. A couple of these have already been answered in the chat, so I will skip over the ones that have been answered because Jessica's in there kicking butt. Thank you,
Awesome.
Jessica.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Okay. Oh man. There are a lot of comments, but okay. How did Sidekick change? Oh, I'm not the person to ask. I just found out that it changed. Pam, how'd Sidekick change?
I think the latest change, which we did mention a couple of weeks ago or whenever, is, Jessica, let me know if I'm wrong. I thought it was just our ability to add keywords to your keyword lists. Let me know if that's the right one, Jessica, which is a really cool one. I think you and me were bugging Anthony for this, like right near the start. Definitely is like, we need to be able to do that. That's one of the reasons things were slow with Sidekick, because Anthony showed loads of people, but he sat down with myself and Starla one day and we're like, no, hashtag, we need that. We need that. Don't launch it till we've got that. Yes, keyword list starts. Cool. I was worrying there was another thing I'd missed.
Which is great for
Yeah.
when you're doing competitor research. If you see some great tags, you can snag them.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's not just that as well, because remember with Sidekick, most pages you're on Etsy, so you've searched for something, the search page, you can see the tags of the listings that are showing up on that page. So then you can steal the keywords, that are looking good right from there. Save so much time not to have to switch between pages. Definitely.
All right, let's see. And actually, I'm going to grab. Oh, go ahead with Jessica's too.
Uh-huh. No, I was just highlighting it because she's saying, bear in mind on Sidekick, it's showing you the current keyword list at the bottom of your window, so you can switch between them to make sure you're adding them to the right list. Because I would absolutely never add them to randomly wrong lists, like every time. But it is definitely helpful. I said in my video of why I love the Sidekick, that's one thing I used to sit and go, oh no, I'm just surfing Etsy. I'm not really doing keyword research. I'll remember that later. And then when you actually physically sit down and say, right now I'm working, yeah, I've forgotten everything. Whereas this is just like, you're just surfing Etsy. Oh yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. You don't even have to think about it.
It's like similar to opening up lots of tabs. You just right click and open a bunch of tabs when you're exploring. Like, I'll look at this later.
Yeah, we spoke about that last week where I had to confess I generally have about 80 to 90 tabs open all the time.
Absolutely. That's what my computer looks like right now. But Susanna had asked, will Sidekick have a similar option to Everbee where you can see how many monthly sales a listing has and how much it makes? So keep in mind that Etsy doesn't give this data out. Anyone who says that they have it, they're based on estimates and algorithms that the tool has likely built themselves, which is exactly what we've done for our own competitor tools. So what's the accuracy rate on those, Pam? 80%?
Anthony reckoned about 80%. Yep.
So we do have that feature within our competitor tools while you're logged into eRank in terms of getting them integrated over into the Sidekick. I mean, it's a slow drip. Are they?
It's already there, I think. Yep.
Oh, is it?
I think so. I'm sure. I saw it. Well, tell you what, we'll
Oh,
find
Brian
out
said it's there.
because Deborah's asked here, so that, that would be a good time to show if it's. I bet you it's not working. I bet you my computer's running too slow. But Sidekick is a browser, a Chrome browser of eRank for doing keyword research. Please be working. My computer's running so slow. So when you click on it, it pulls up tons of data, but my computer has 80 tabs open just now. Anyway, so it pulls up a sidebar. This is live, you can tell. Pulls up a sidebar that brings you all your eRank data. You get it. I'm probably not logged in or something. Right. Tell the team that Pam having too many tabs open, well, too many windows in this case, but you get it from eRank. You'll see an extension button halfway down your menu page. Click on it, and then you can get it from the Chrome store, totally free. It just integrates with your current plan, so whatever your quotas are on your current plan, they'll just be included in your Sidekick plan, so everyone can use it. Definitely, we have a couple of videos on this YouTube channel explaining it, so everyone who doesn't know about it, definitely dive in and have a look at that.
Yeah, it's great. It's like if you're already shopping on Etsy or browsing around, you can see the tags and keywords that your competitors are using. You can use it within your own listings. You can use it within your shop. You can use it on search pages. It's just some good to know information that you can then take and save to your keyword lists and be able to access again when you're over at eRank. So if you're already browsing on Etsy or spending time there, why not pop it open? And I mean, you can just leave it open while you're browsing Etsy and, who who knows, maybe you'll find something interesting. If you're shopping for Halloween shirts and you're planning on listing some other, maybe Halloween mugs in your own shop, but you're shopping for yourself for some shirts, maybe you find some good keywords shopping for shirts that could be applied to your mugs. You never know.
Yeah, I've just remembered what I did wrong there. I was beta testing the keyword lists bit of Sidekick so I could make the video when it came out, and I forgot it was on this computer, so I've got the wrong version of Sidekick loaded. So too many computers, too much going on, but Deborah's found it anyway, so awesome. Have fun with it. It really should be easy for anyone who uses eRank to use, because it's just all our tools. It's just the most relevant bits of data will pop up on the relevant page. Anywhere you are on Etsy, if your little Sidekick glows orange, then it's just saying, got some data for you on this page. It's very cool.
All right. Scrolling back up a little ways. Sigma Enigma. Are you still here? With AI, I use it to inspire my designs and use object, but add my own flair and even alter the images on my own. Is that still okay for now? Yeah. AI. I mean, even if you were 100% AI generating an image, based on Etsy's current policies, they don't have any restrictions on it. They're just saying that it's subject to change. And like Pam said, if you are 100% AI generating images for your shop and that's the only thing that you sell, don't quit your day job, because there obviously are, we don't know what regulations are going to look like in the coming years for AI.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's going to think using it to inspire your designs is a bad thing. I think that's how we should be using all types of AI. Sorry, I was trying not to laugh there because Amy was in the background there auditioning for an Only Pups page or something, flashing her booty at us all. She's settled now.
What are you doing? Yeah, she is almost always on that couch. She's lazy. Oh, and she also turned the TV on, so we've got Netflix on the TV now.
Is that excellent?
Let's hope she doesn't turn something on and we get a copyright strike for some.
Yeah, Amy's catching up on the boys or something.
I am all caught up on the boys now, other than tonight's episode.
I just watched it before it came on, but I'm not saying anything.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay, so let's see. Linda had said, I assume they've abandoned the Explore feature, which would be a great place for seller videos on the platform rather than Instagram. I'm seeing, as a shopper, I'm actually seeing the Explore videos on Android, which that's a change because previously I wasn't able to see them. Now I can see them, but I can't post them. So on the buyer app, as a buyer, I can explore them. I can explore the Explorer, but I can't post my own.
I don't think now they've not mentioned the Explorer, but if they're moving forwards, they're still working on it. But in the Bernstein and JP Morgan webinars a month or so ago, Josh specifically said that basically he's wanting Etsy to become like an entertainment place when you've got 5 minutes to entertain yourself. And he mentioned how good TikTok was and how they've published a bit about their algorithms and things. And my spidey senses just said, a TikTok-like shopping thing? That's the Explore feature, is it not? So I don't think it's abandoned. I think they've just been really slow with it, and just now would be a really good time for them to be launching it properly.
Yeah, I'm going to check and see if there's anything I've missed on my own Etsy seller app. I'll give you a question in the meantime. Actually, Diana, I'm not quite sure what you mean. She had said, what do I need to say in my description for pre-existing AI generated? Oh, AI generated. Gotcha. Pre-existing AI generated digital download listings to avoid deactivation. Because Etsy did say that you have to disclose it.
Oh, right. Cool. Yes. I'll see if I can. Right. So here isn't, because I'm not sharing it. Here's the new additions to your listing editor. So it's asking the questions, and don't, but Etsy's told us all these new things that you've got to add are not important yet. They're just using them to feed into what they're doing. So you're looking at how's it made, but there is here what tools have you used, and you do have a box to say an AI generator. So that would be the specific place you would mark for there to absolutely say that's what you're looking for. I don't think there's any danger there of deactivation because Etsy have absolutely said that you can use AI stuff. So yeah, go ahead just now. All we're saying is be wary because they have specifically said how it's obviously a contentious issue just now. Um, did you find anything?
No, I even was digging in the social media tab from the seller app, thinking maybe because I know that shop announcements, remember, or not shop announcements, shop updates, they used to hide those in there. Those aren't even in there anymore. But no, I am not seeing anything unless somebody can maybe point me in a direction of a folder or an area that I'm just not aware of. But I'm just seeing all the usual shop advisor stuff. I mean, I do really like the new Etsy seller app now. I think that they've made it way better than what it was, but I don't have any options to add the
Cool.
video.
Well, we'll keep an eye out, guys. And yeah, the shop updates. It's a shame they got rid of that. I think that would have been good for just now what they're talking about,
Yeah.
to have a more social experience on Etsy. I think they trialed that but didn't really push it hard enough because it would have been a cool thing. Like if you follow a shop, wouldn't it be cool to see the updates that they want to give you rather than just going this shop's on sale? Wouldn't you like to see that Starla's creating a new thing or something? That's
Yeah.
that was always my feeling. I didn't use it as much because it was buried in the app and it was it was a pain. I literally, this is another one. I had to make a video of how to use it so I could watch my own video to remind myself how to do an update. See, I don't make videos for you lot. I make them all for me, so I know how
I
to run my
liked
own
it.
shop.
I used it a lot. And then once, I mean, Etsy just didn't do a good job of showing the people who had favorited your shops the updates from those. So I just kind of used it as an opportunity to have 3 additional photos show up on my actual Etsy storefront where I could give my users almost like my own little Instagram feed of 3 photos of my choice linked to products, where I could take a really artsy styled photo of the product, but then have the plain, thumbnail image beside it where they could go and actually purchase that item. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it would be so much more useful now with the new listing things. You could do all your clever AI mock-ups and everything there and not worry,
Yeah.
basically.
And Linda made a fantastic point. She said TikTok may not be around forever in the US. That's true. So all of the alternate platforms, like, there's Instagram Reels, there's YouTube Shorts. Most platforms now have some form of short form content. It would only make sense, especially if there is a potential for TikTok to go away, for Etsy to, because I mean, we've got TikTok Shop. There are a lot of people who make a lot of money on TikTok. So why would Etsy not take that opportunity and fill that need in the market for a browsable video-based shopping platform? I would really
Yeah,
love to see that.
that was pretty much the thing that Josh was talking about in the Bernstein webinar that was really interesting, and it made me think, that whole thing, we used to go out and window shop, like go to shopping malls, not planning to buy anything and buy loads of stuff, or even we have a B&M store here in the UK. I think you have similar over there. They're the kind of, it's a store that used to be a meme that you'd go in to buy a 20-cent cat treat and come out with everything. And now literally they sell mugs that say, I just went into B&M for toothpaste and came out with this. Or, they're aware of their thing. So Etsy wants that. They want people to come to Etsy just like when you're sitting on the train or something, you've got 10 minutes to go and browse on Etsy because it's fun. Now, that's a long way away from where it is just now. So they do have to do a lot of work on that. But I think Etsy Explore, shop updates, all those kind of things were good ideas towards that.
Yeah, and I'm one of those Etsy. I open Etsy almost every day on mobile, just to waste some time. So I'm already one of those users, but I can speak from experience that I get bored very easily, because the way that Etsy curates search pages now for mobile, it's still very far from what I'm actually looking for, where Etsy will just constantly remind me of the listings that I favorited, even if they have nothing to do with the search query that I've typed in. So if I'm searching for wall art, I'm going to get a bunch of items that aren't wall art that I just happened to have favorited days ago showing up in that search query. And that, to me, it's saturating my experience with reminders of things that I've already seen, as opposed to actually showing me new things. So they are very far off, I think, from actually being an entertaining platform. I only do what I spend that much time on it because I want to make sure that I am keeping up with how it works and functions. And I try to do so with a bit of a buyer's perspective, which I recommend everybody do.
We really should. I mean, I have to say, for all that we have a go at them, the likes of Timu and Shein have got this a lot better than a lot of companies, in that once you've looked at a couple of things, it really starts to understand you. And you'll probably find it stalks you around Facebook going, we think you'll really like this dress. And you're like, yeah, I really, really like that dress. How did you know I like that? Whereas Etsy's pretty bad at that and keeps like showing me like, we saw you looked at a bookmark. You might like this bookmark. It's like, it's my own bookmark. Do you not know why I was looking at it? So Etsy needs a bit of work to get that kind of thing, where I have mainly only bought from Timu because it stalked me with stuff that I really like. I didn't want to buy from them. Whereas Etsy, it's almost like the opposite. You have to really work hard. I mean, we were in the live last week with Brian, we were looking at my search analytics beta, and it was showing that some people are finding some of my items on page 500. How desperate are, well, on, yeah, like position 500 or something, how desperate are you to click through that many pages? Like, it should be, the people should be finding what they want in the first couple of pages.
I would like I would like, as a shopper, a feed refresh button, where if I'm scrolling and I'm not finding what I want, I should be able to hit a refresh button, the similar like when you're on your phone and you're on Facebook and you're like, I'm sick of everything I'm seeing. You can just drag your finger down and it'll refresh the page and then you have all new stuff. Because I feel like most of what I see on Etsy is the exact same things that I don't want over and over again. And I want to see that stuff that's buried. I even do bad searches where I will type in just completely illogical sets of keywords just so I can find the outliers who may not have used the best SEO for their listings, because those are the things that I almost always want to buy, not the stuff that Etsy's shoving in my face.
I think Etsy are working on things. They need to work more. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, now in search, when you click, you are seeing a button that is more like this.
Yes, I
And
do like
what
that.
that is doing, yeah, that is populating a new search page using the title of the item that you liked. So it's almost like a rabbit hole that you can get down to the things that aren't the front page worthy things. So it's kind of cool. And also does suggest to me that maybe some of your items should have similar titles. So if people click, they're going to keep seeing your stuff as well.
Yeah, I've got a lot of people who are like, oh, it's going to distract people from my items. I'm like, well, no, not necessarily, because every time I've clicked it, it's been because I found an item and it's kind of what I want, but it's not perfect for what I want. And I want something similar to that, but I don't want that exact thing. I think that it's a great opportunity for those who might otherwise struggle to compete to be able to actually reach buyers. So if you're sick of seeing the same top sellers in search over and over and over again because they've just grown their shops to these astronomical levels, well, maybe the more like this button will help you to be found by those shoppers who have clicked the button after looking at one of your competitors' listings. And it's not once they've clicked on your listing. I've had a lot of people who are like, if someone clicks on my listing, Etsy's going to take them away. No, it's not that they've clicked your listing. There's nothing that's distracting them from your listing once they've clicked on it. It's if they're scrolling through a search page and they happen, maybe they're searching for Christmas ornaments and they really don't want round ones. They want oblong shaped ones, and they see one, but it's not the color that they need. So they click more like this, and then that search page curates more oblong shaped ornaments, for example.
Exactly. I mean, all these things that Brian's saying might pull people from your item, but they'll also push people towards your item. Well, Starla, myself, and Brian all do YouTubes ourselves, and I can tell you, most of us are going to have the most traffic on YouTube comes from what they call suggested videos, and that's other things that people have seen after they've seen a thing. So I was never feared when Etsy's showing other examples, because there's millions of other items that people could find that might point to my listing. So that's a far bigger chance to be able to push people towards my listings.
Exactly, especially if you've got a good niche.
Yeah, that's it. If you've got a good niche, I mean, I find with a lot of mine, when I'm clicking on more like this, I'm seeing most of my shop. It's pretty cool, which does mean if someone's looked and gone, that's kind of cool, but I wanted something slightly different, all the slightly different options from your shop will hopefully be there. So, yeah, it brings them down a rabbit hole of your stuff, hopefully.
Our very last question was from Deborah. She said, why did Etsy stop letting us pin other shops on Pinterest? I can only pin my own things. I wasn't aware that this was a thing. Are you viewing it from Pinterest itself or from Etsy? Might not even be an Etsy change. It could have been a Pinterest change. You never know.
That's exactly my thoughts. I don't know, but Pinterest has had some big changes, and you used to be able to claim your Etsy shop. That meant if anybody else pinned your pin, you'd be able to see it, and yeah, it was a really cool thing. But they don't do that anymore. So probably if Etsy, like, I can't see a reason why Etsy would stop doing that, because that's a good thing. It wants you to pin. It wants you to do as many interesting pins that drive other people in. So I don't think Etsy would have stopped that, because that's good for Etsy. So bet you that was a Pinterest thing.
Yeah. I am seeing it on our own listings. I decided to do a quick comparison, and you are correct. They are not on other sellers' listings, but that's okay. I dare say that the best strategy for Pinterest is to upload a new pin from scratch rather than just clicking pin buttons, because you can better optimize them. You can get good keywords in there. You can add your own links to your pins. If you really wanted to pin someone else's product, you could always just upload a fresh pin, and I'm sure they would appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. My understanding is exactly that. Pinterest prefers you to create fresh pins with linking things. Yeah, and Jessica's asking about the Pinterest extension button they used to have. I used to have that. I appear to have lost that extension just now, so I don't know. But you used to be able to get a Pinterest extension that let you pin any page on the internet pretty much. So that is worth looking into. I must have switched that off when something wasn't working on my computer. So,
all right. Well, I think we're right about 4:00 on the dot, and we're out of questions. So this seems like as good a time as any to cut it. Guys, don't forget to check out these policy updates on your own. They were emailed to you. They're at the top of your shop dashboard. There, if you go in the mobile app, I just opened it up and it was the first thing that popped up, a little pop-up with it. So make sure that you read over that. Don't just look at the article itself, but there are little underlined areas of that article that you can click on, and it'll open new articles that'll elaborate on specific sections. The one with the video of Josh Silverman, that's just kind of a highlight, but you really got to get down to the nitty gritty of the specifics of each of the things that he's outlined there, because there's a lot more to it. But if you missed the beginning of this, definitely watch the replay. Pam and I share all of our thoughts on everything. I'll be going live tomorrow on my channel at noon Eastern. Pam has a video from Tuesday, the day that this all came out, where she's reacting like in real time as she's reading all of these updates. So you can find her channel and mine linked in the video description. And yeah, I guess I won't see you guys next week because I won't be here, but you'll see probably Pam.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, you up for it next week? Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah,
Bye-bye.
see you next week.